in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland and the rest of the world, Supersonics Money Transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently...
Welcome back, Mr. Witness. Let me remind you that you're still under oath. And still required to speak the truth. Before the break, you were telling us about this incident wherein this person called So was brought in. And he was not cooperative. And you were ordered to Topatoko. And you said members of your team gave him the monkey dance and the press up and they stretched him. Kindly proceed from there.
After he was laid, that was
you said he was beaten for 10 to 15 minutes.
Yes.
At what stage did he start to talk?
When the beatings got very painful.
So what did he start to say? That
there is a dad that he gave these things to keep for him, who is Jokoso.
What things? What things?
That is the suitcase of money.
Are you telling us that that confession was obtained by way of torture?
I tried to take it easy with him. I tried to speak fuller to him and told him that I was his relative. Even though I don't speak fuller, I told him to try and comply.
Is it the case that for the NIA, when the person comes there, this person must speak, the person must talk, must say things that you want to hear?
Ndax dafa nek ada lo xamne moy xew NIA sa yu nek bo len fa indé nit fo ngeen fexé mu wax li nga xamne yeen mom ngeen bëggam wax.
Most of the time mu wax dëgg.
Most of the time we want the person to speak the truth.
Fekk da ñun ci ñun lolu satisfy you, maybe commande bu ñu dëggal lolu dañu ne li fen la.
And even where the person is speaking the truth, and we don't believe, and we don't believe what he is saying to be the truth, even if it is the truth.
When he told you that he has given the thing, was he beaten?
No.
No.
After Busai knew so. So
they did not touch him until Saul came. Saul was beaten severely. That was after that Saul directed us to Jokoso.
Okay. Abbas was first arrested.
Nothing
happened to him.
Yes.
Okay, then Saul He was arrested. He was tortured.
Because I don't believe ni Abbas comme mu ngi nekkon xarit DG. I believe Lamin Dabo sam ko don baye xel yu demé nonu ni xam nga.
I think because Abbas was a friend to the DG, even Lamin Dabo was very careful with him.
But after bum tangé ba tanga mom kay lal len ko.
But when things got very heated, he too was beaten.
At what stage was that?
Ban jamono la lolu xew?
Lolu moy bu Joko Sow ñëwé.
When Joko Sow arrived.
Tell us what happened when Joko Sow arrived.
Bi Joko Sow exé nak wax ñu lu xew.
Wa Joko dafa ñëw mom tamit man sa fu la ko lalé.
In fact, that was where I also beat him.
Because Joko dafa ñëw after he was just playing games with us. Di ñu won ni tapalé yi baxna ci dëkk bi. Njublan gi baxna ci dëkk bi dafa tax dëkk bi am xaliss.
He was playing with us.
Proud of what he was doing. Dafa kontanon dal ni tapalé gi dal baxna ci dëkk bi.
He was happy that the fraud which was happening is good because it brings money to the country. And he was proud of what he was doing, and that was the first time that I touched someone in that office.
Danko touch ndax danko toroxal.
Huh?
Danko touch ndax danko toroxal.
Dama mer rek ma gestu rek ma sila ko mbecc.
I was angry, I turned around and slapped him.
But obviously it did not end at that.
No.
Why emut fofu de?
No.
So he was badly tortured, wasn't he?
Da ngeen ko bugal bu baaxa baax du non.
Mom dama ko mbecc.
I slapped him.
Ñu fa nekkon ñepp surprised because musu ñoo gis ma laal nit.
When I slapped him there, the people around were all surprised because they never saw me touch anyone before.
Parce ñu ko gëné job ko ci biti.
It was when he was taken out.
And what happened to him after?
And then we took our hose pipes and began to beat him up. Myself and Balde.
Tenaji, Echo.
Tenaji. Fona and also Echo. Jibril. He was handcuffed.
Instrumental si dori.
But Balde was more instrumental in the beating.
Because they are Joko so statement
I have Joko saying in his statement that he has not forgiven, met with Balde, but he has not forgiven him.
Because man tesena mom 1,000 times, every time suma tese Joko so turntable fi dama ko den magji magi jegalu de bala ma ahada ni na wana ko Balde several occasions mané ko Joko so dama re tese mom all the time.
But I told Balde that I have met with Joko So several times, and each time we meet, I used to seek forgiveness from him.
Are you disappointed he did not say to the commission that you apologize to him?
Several times
I was surprised by that. He said that I beat him, and that is true. But what surprised me was the fact that he did not mention that I have met with him, and on several occasions I have always apologized to him.
Joko described his torture in very graphic terms. He said at one point he was put in a sack. He was tied in a sack and put under a tap, and the tap was open on him. And he suffered like he was drowning. He was waterboarded.
Joko anam yi nga xamne mom ngeen ko doon bugale wax na ko fi muy anam yu miti wax na ne sax amna jamono jo xamne da ngeen ko takka ci biir saaku tek ko ci ron pompe ubbi pompe bi ndox mi soté ko ci koom mu ganaar la fa melni sax ku doon la
lolu mom su ko waxe mën na nek way man fekkewuma bobu nonu te xamna ne bobu drill ci gaay la jongula ci.
If he said that, that is possible, but I was not present. But I know that was part of the drills of the junglers.
How do you know that it was the junglers who used to do that?
Nga xamé né jongulas ci dañ faral di def lolu
ñun sun DJ dig be sona mënu ñu am luñ soxla.
If after digging until we tire and we are not able to get what we need,
ñom sun ñëw sun la yobbo fi leen invest,
and when they come and take you to invest, those are the kind of drills that happen there.
By drills you mean torture.
Lolu mo tekki né ay mugal yi ñana def fofu di leen metital.
Yes.
How would the junglers come? Why would the junglers come?
Lutax junglers di ñew?
Who would arrange for the junglers to come?
Kan mo dé o junglers pour ñu ñew?
Because c'est pas ni case president bi la.
It is a presidential case.
Case president bi la. President dafa concern.
It is a presidential case which concerns the president.
The whole day dara.
If we are there,
answers.
If we are there the whole day and we did not get the answers we need.
Before closing hours, first we take a 5, 6 guide in the Dugasi.
Before we close, between 4, 5, and 6, they will come in.
Simon Dugasi, Noha Baji.
Noah Baji will come in.
DG.
He comes and goes to the DG.
So
Each time you saw him sitting there, you should know that that night is going to be a very hard night.
Are you suggesting that as a matter of routine, he would come and go to the DG's office?
Yes.
I want him done to him more than if I knew them office DG.
Most of them office DG, I'm not a 4G like Nakala situation, Nakala Fatayo, so that if the DG one can decide never to comply or never do, so that if you don't neka fufunan as an attire, then nighttime boys avenue.
I think when he comes, he goes to the DG and tries to inquire about what we were able to glean from the captive, and DG will tell him, and he'll be there drinking their attire. I think it's after that, in the night, his boys will come in and take over.
So would
you say that the GGNIA would always be in the picture?
But DG bu NIA sa yu nek li xew daf ko day xam.
ñun amul suñu ben operation bo xamni ñu ko opérer fofu mu nek daytime or goudi te DJ bokku ci.
There has never been any one single operation that we were involved in, either in the day or in the night, which the DG was not aware of.
Na mu nek ay recovery case yi ni nit amel nit xaliss yoy nonu ma bugala febo buga call sa nit ci pour mu fayla sa xaliss yoy way ci fekke is official mission ñun suñu official mission ci yep dafa joge ci DG.
Except if it is a case of recovery where people take it upon themselves to recover debts for their friends. But if this is an official issue, the DG is always in the know.
And for the purposes of having access to a detainee at the NIA, for the purposes of torture, would the Director General have to authorize that access?
Pour ñu jot ci ñi nga xamne ñom ngeen japp ngir mën leen mbugal na su boba Director General bi fokk mu joxe ndigal lolu
fofu ken dafa fa mbugal ken ko xamne Director General joxew ko.
No one dares torture anyone without the authorization of the Director General.
Because so xolé ñun de ici fofu dafa nek ay kilifa o yo xamne dafa nek top people. So ñun duñ leen dé bugal laal sa duñ leen dé ñamañal laal sa.
Because if you look at things, the people that were brought in there are usually senior officers, and no one will dare, we are even afraid of touching them.
So, in a sense, you're saying that you would only touch them, you would only torture them with the directions and authority of the Director General.
On dafa melni bala ngeen len di laal di len wara mbugal fokk ngeen am ndigal lu bayeko ci ki nga xamne moy Director General bi.
Man dama ko gisee nako ni mom mu ñu lay jox direct order bi de.
The way I see it, it is not that he gives direct authority.
Lu mëna def rek Lamin Dabo fa mu dem ci mom.
Whatever we did,
nañu def leen li.
Lamin Dabo
ba paré tamit fokk Lamin Dabo demaat ne ko ni la fa taajo mom tamit mu ñëwaat waxaat ni def leen li.
Whatever we are to do, Lamin Dabo will go to him and come back to us. And whatever we did, after that, Lamin Dabo will go to him, and sometimes he too will come and give us instructions.
What would you say to the suggestion that the Director General was not aware of the tortures carried out by the special operations?
Loy wax nak ci li bu fekke ne wax nañ ni Director General bi du daan yek te du xam mbugal li nga xam ne ñu ko fa daan def nit ñi.
False. Not true.
So, in this particular case that we were talking about, the Jokosow crew,
ci mbiri li ñu waxtane ni muy Jokosow ak ñim andal.
Do you know how many times Jokosow was tortured?
Xam nga ñaata yoon lañ mbugal Jokosow?
Jokosow is uncountable.
It's uncountable.
Man lu ma mëna witness dal te na ni ay 3-4 times.
I witnessed about 3 to 4 times.
Yo xamni gaay ko dugal diko gëné because mom fa yagal bopam.
When he was taken in and out, because he wasted his own time because he was not cooperating.
Let me ask you this. In the procedures, investigation procedures of the NIA?
ci anam yi nga xam ne moom la NIA day defee seen gëstu yi.
Is a person not entitled to not incriminate himself?
ndax boromi tamit nag amul doole bi pour bañ a dugal boppam.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
But if they don't incriminate themselves, you brutalize them.
waaye bu dugalul seen boppay tamit ngeen toroxal leen.
True. Because guys don't buga dugal sen bopa don't buga wax fan la affaire si nekk because soo gisee Joko Sow mu doon dangal bañ wax fan la xaalis bi nekk xam na ni xaalis bi yëpp counterfeit la ak ay naxaate la.
They did not want to implicate themselves because the reason why he was not cooperating because he knew that the currency was a fake one.
My question is, isn't that really his right?
Yeah, it's his right.
But do the NIA allow him to exercise that right?
li ma laajte fii mooy ndax du yelleefam ndax NIA dinañ koy nangul moom tamit li nga xam ne moo di yelleefam mu doxal loolu.
No. Ma jox la benn exemple Essa.
I'll give you one example.
Lead counsel, sorry. am na benn Egyptian bu ñëwoon foofu noonu ak yenn jaxa.
One day,
office di nataaloo yooyu noonu.
one Egyptian came there with some ladies and they were taking photographs of the
la stade di nataal.
at the gate.
Gars yi romb ko foofu ak pick up rek ñu gis ni kii tubaab la xam something like that daal ñu isi ko.
He was taking photographs of the National Assembly and they passed him on the highway in their pickup, and when they saw that he was fair in color as a European sort of, they came back and picked him up.
ñetti jaxi joola.
3 Jola ladies.
waaw moom bu ñëwee mu ne gars yi daf leen doon waare ba pare daf leen bëgg a def hijab jëndal leen ay kaala wane kaala yu bëri ay 50 something kaala.
He came and he said he was preaching to them and encouraging them to use the scarf. They showed a lot of scarves.
mu doon wax ni moom du wax dafa need a lawyer.
He was saying that he will not talk, he needs a lawyer.
Anything duñ ko laajte dafa it doesn't concern me, I need a lawyer.
Anything they ask him, he tells them, it doesn't concern me, I need a lawyer.
No.
Well, with all of that, they said no.
So what happened to him?
He spent a long time there.
One after the other, kiss leen laaj leen ñoom ñëpp ñu explain ni kii daal xam nga si benn guest house la nekk at Tranquil. What is the name of the guest house again? Si benn guest house la jaxay yi doon liggéey ñoom méet neen waaye daf leen dee dimbali ba pare daf leen dee waare. Mu ne leen dem Banjul ma jëndal leen hijab yi nii patronize leen si diggante bi NIA romba ko National Assembly mu ngeen nataal different places.
He was there
Institution office
for a long time but not beaten. The girls too were investigated and they said they worked at a particular guest house in Tranquil and he was just preaching to them, encouraging them to use scarves. And this is just to show you that even when you demand for your rights to be respected, they will not allow you.
And for how long was the Egyptian man detained?
Egyptian boobu nag ñaata diir ngeen ko fa téye?
For roughly 72 hours there.
I think he was there for roughly 72 hours.
Well, 72 hours is within the permissible limit. Okay. But what is concerning is that the right against self-incrimination is not respected against at the NIA.
Waaye li ma itteel mooy li nga xam ne mooy yellee fi nit ki et pour mu bañ a dugal boppam loolu NIA fonkuñ ko.
And the right not to be tortured.
Ak it yellee fam tam buñ ko mugal buñ ko mitital.
That too is not respected.
Loolu tamit NIA fonkuñ ko.
You
will not tell them not to beat you. You cannot say that.
As a matter of routine, they will beat you.
If you don't want to be beaten, tell them what they want to hear or do what they want you to do. If you do that, they are done with you.
So after Joko was beaten, at what stage was Mr. Jaju beaten?
Gannaaw buñ dooree Joko ba pare nag ban jamono lañ door Mr. Jaju?
Mr. Jaju Abbas. Well, Abbas moom after laa gis si élection bu mu ñëwee liggéey daal laa gis Abbas face am bi mu ngi néew ba pare nu ma ko bàyyi woon melutoon noonu.
The following day when I reported to work, I saw Abbas and I noticed that his face was swollen and he did not look like the way I saw him last, the day before.
But in your statement you told us that at one point you went into the office and you saw the junglers.
Yes.
waaye yow ci kàddu yi nga bind wax nga ne amoon na jamono joo xam ne ñëw nga ci office bi nga fekk fa jongla si.
And that was the time they came for Abbas, and you knew that it would not be good for him.
nga ne nag jamono boobu nag ci leen jël Abbas te xam nga ne nag bu boobaa bon daal mbir yi du yombaa moom.
That's true.
Could you continue to explain that?
mun ngaa eggali wax ñu lu xewoon foofu.
mooy night bu ma Lamin Dabo jëlee airport Johnson.
That was the night that Lamin Dabo picked me from the airport Johnson.
After Joko Sow mu direct mu ne keesi xaalis yi ñu ngi Sadinka.
Then Joko Sow directed us to Sadinka. That was where the suitcase, the money containing the money was.
ñu dem Sadinka pigi keesi xaalis yi.
Went to Sadinka and took the suitcases of money.
Abbas si boppam mu ngi wax Joko Sow waxal gaa yi dëgga.
Abbas himself was telling Joko Sow, tell them the truth.
Abbas am na ni mu ngi si last chance am yi fu mu nekk foog ñu laal ko.
Abbas knew that was his last chance, and the next thing coming was beating.
Si la Joko Sow wàcca mu ne bagage yi ñu ngi Sadinka.
That was when Joko Sow said the materials are in Sadinka.
Were they recovered?
jotoon nañ ci xaalis.
waaw bu ñu demee foofu noonu ñu dem si benn àll bu gannaaw Sadinka.
When
néeg bu yaaxu.
we got there,
def na communication bu wax gaa yi yóbbul ko foofu noonu.
we went to the bush into one abandoned house. He had made prior communication for those things to be taken there for him.
ñu dem fekk fa ñaari waxande ñu ko fa def si benn néeg bu yaaxu nii.
We found 2 suitcases there in one abandoned room.
Pour ekkati ko rek it was a problem because it was very very heavy.
It was difficult to pick it up because it was very heavy.
man suma boppa sax wax naa Balde nañ daaji li ñu def suñu def ñu loos.
I told Balde myself, let's break open this thing and take what we are able to.
dama Balde ne booy
And get away.
def la rémba. Balde ne booy yow li nga wax nii loolu du solution nañ dem.
Balde said, what you are saying is not the solution, let's go.
So you believed that there was, what did you believe was inside that case?
yow lan nga foogoon gëmoon ne moo nekk ci biir kees
wante yëpp da war euros dollars pounds.
There were euros, dollars, and pounds.
waaw loolu moo fa war a nekk.
Those were the currencies.
waaw foreign currency
be here.
ne 6 waxande la ba mu fees.
Foreign currencies in 6 suitcases.
And then what happened?
gannaaw bi lu xew.
den pour ñu dugal briefcase boobu pour ñu dugal waxande yi mooy waxande Ghana Mosgo yi yu weñ yi.
These are the iron suitcases,
It's a problem.
the one they call Ghana
Balde
Moscow.
ndigam bi daf si am problem.
So for the 2 of us, myself and Balde, to load them on the vehicle was a problem because Balde has a problem with his waist.
ak eko ñu enu kirti ba dugal loolu si moto bi.
So we had tried and staggered with these suitcases until we eventually put them in the vehicle.
si guddi la bu ñu eggee DJ mu ngi toog ñëpp a ngi toog ñu daaji affaire si.
It was in the night, and when we arrived, the DG was seated and other people were seated, and we broke open the suitcases.
waaye tegoon ni si guddi googu sax lu mu turi tey su ma ñibbi sax dina tane sax at least.
I was thinking that time, in this night, at least, no matter how small it is, if I am going home, I'll go home better off than before.
ñu daaji kees yi ne 6 inches block la ñu fa ngay defal. like 6 inches ba mu fees 6 inches block boobu rek ñu tooyal ko ba mu tooy xanaa dafa gën a diis.
We broke open the suitcases, and lo and behold, inside we found 6 inches blocks, which were wetted, and that made them even more heavier.
loolu moo ñu gën a stress yëf yi Joko Sow nag.
That made us even more angry with Joko.
loolu yëpp diilam la moom moo ne gars yi ñu def loolu.
That was his deal. He told them to do the swap.
He was just playing games and buying time pour ni xam nga think si pour mu escape because seen sëriñ bi la gars yi bëggoon mu escape am na beneen sëriñ bu nekk Costoro.
He was buying time, trying to waste time so that their marabout
because mu
could escape.
ñu da nga ko dee jox call pour ñu mun a communiquer ak moom da nga ko dee jox call pour mu wax gars yi ñu jàppale ñu isi affaire si because ñun tamit ñu ngi soona ñu ngi bëgg a ñibbi.
We used to make a call and give it to him and tell him to tell those guys to help us and doing these things because we were tired and we wanted to go home.
We make sure that this is out because the president said this must be out.
Lamindabo said that nobody is going home. Even if we have to stay there for a month, the money must come out because that is what the president said.
But what money are we talking about here?
Why? Ban halis la ñoo wax ni.
ñoom ñoo xam fu xaalis bi jógee de because ñoom ñoo xam fu xaalis bi jógee wala ñun dañ am Lamin Dabo daf ñu daal ñu ngi am ay ñoo xam ne xam nga président bi la gaay 419 xam nga ban président la gaay 419 but this is about money they stole from I don't know where.
They would know where the money came from. Because they were telling us that they defrauded either the president or some other president and then fled into the Gambia.
Who are the people allegedly involved in this?
Abbas Jaju. Joko Sow. They are Marabu.
Then one amna keneen ku santa si foofu suma doom baay la.
Santa naka?
Amna ku santa si foofu suma doom baay la.
There is one whose surname is C.
Kooku ñu ko téye Costa Road si jàkka ji mu ngi julli timis.
He was arrested at Costa Road when he was performing his 7 p.m. prayers.
Dafa ñëw break four-wheelam bi pour dugg si jàkka ji.
He came and parked his 4-wheel and I was about to enter into the mosque.
Fekk ñun ñu ko toppa si.
At that time we were following him.
Waaw saa mu ne moom su duggee si jàkka ji rek mun naa xam ne ñu ko topp dafa escape wala moo dugg si jàkka ji ñu téye ko. So
it was suggested that if he gets into the mosque, the people will know that, and if we apprehend him there, the people will know. So we got hold of him even before he got into the mosque.
Moom dafa wàcce si moto bi moom ma ne ko mag ji nakam.
He alighted from the vehicle and I said to him, "Senior brother, how are you?"
waaw mu ne ma maa ngi nii bu ko taw xamoon sax because kilifa la mu ngi sol xaftaan nii mu ngi.
He said, I'm here. He is a very respectable person. He was dressed in a haftan. I told him, my boss needs you. He's in that other vehicle. I returned back to the vehicle where Lamin Dabo was and I told him, this guy said he's going to pray. We might as well pray also. He shouted at me. He said, we don't have time. Let him come.
So he drove his own car?
Yes.
What's the name of the person?
That be Sila Santa de
his full name is C, but I have forgotten his name.
In your statement you have said in paragraph 24.
Paragraph 24.
Abbas was being charged for involvement of boxes of counterfeit currencies, gold dust and diamonds because he was either having problems with President Jammeh or Yaya's friend or the Mauritanian president.
Exactly.
In the deal, it was Abbas Jaju, Buba Sise, Seydou Sow, Yusufa Seydi Lee, Omar Liberia, Joko Sow and his driver Kamara.
Yes.
These were the names of the people you say were involved.
All of them were involved. Now I recall that person, the guy called C.
And then you went on to say in your statement that in most cases, if a victim refuses to give them the information they required, you are seriously tortured to extract the information. In fact, Invest is a torture room for the Special Operations Office with red paint all over the wall and a tap for washing.
Exactly.
So at what stage was Abbas tortured now?
Legi ban jamano ci lañ du Abbas
gudi bobu la gudi bun isi kessi xaliss bi.
It was the night that the boxes of money were brought in.
Na luñ jot ci xaliss bi.
There was something we got from the money.
Moy buñ démé ci négi sëriñ bi.
That was when we went into the Marabu's room.
Some dollars and euros you mentioned fofu nonu.
We found some dollars and euros as I mentioned earlier. Did you take care of yourselves?
No, because guy ngi li yoon nga afé ci bobu nonu bari wut.
It wasn't much.
because before guy everybody went for ñom la Dabo yeb taxaw di xol.
And there were many there, people like Lamin Dabo, we are all there watching. If I told we were on our own, we have taken care of ourselves.
Was it normal that at the NIA operatives or agents steal parts of the exhibits?
ndax dina daan faral di am nag ne liggéeykati NIA léegi-léeg suñ dee ci yu mel noonu dinañ ci dee jël.
No, musuma fekkee loolu de.
I have never witnessed such.
Wouldn't they apprehend people and take away their belongings?
duñ dee téye ay nit ba pare jël seeni bagages.
waaw suma côté yi ñoom doon dee def loolu ñaari yoon maa ngi leen a fekk ñu ngi def loolu waaye man maa leen si dee génne mooy Tamba Mansare ak Sala.
My seniors, Tamba Mansare and Sala, were involved in such activity on 2 occasions.
Benn bi Atlantic Hotel la because
one was at the Atlantic Hotel.
soo gisee démb ma laa wax ni man fekkee ma lu bëree bëri.
The fact that I told you yesterday that I was not present in many incidents was because I was taken to Atlantic.
Côté yi ñoom every guddi foog ñu génn biir Banjul def seen opération ñëwaat.
But the brothers, the senior brothers, every night they will go inside Banjul and carry out their own operations.
Were these NIA operations or were they private operations?
yii nag ay mbiri NIA la wala ñoom seen mbiri boppal.
non ñoom seen own mission la ngay dee dox.
Those were their own missions.
In the name of the NIA?
di ko def nag ci turu NIA.
Exactly.
Things like what?
lu mel ne ka.
ñoom police ting la ngay def rek dem uti booy yi de jaay tay nii jéem a am foofu dara seen loxo oo dem toppa caga yi. jëm leen a arrest pour jéem a nangu gaay seen xaalis yooyu noonu.
dañ leen dee rapino.
rapino la ngay def.
They do foolish things.
suma koto yi loolu la ngay def.
They do foolish things. Go after the boys who sell cannabis or after the prostitutes and arrest them and try to get some money out of them.
What is their usual state of mind when they go into these operations?
No.
These two you mentioned?
jamono joo xam ne ñu ngi dem ci façon yu mel nii naka lañ dee mel naka la seen anam dee bindoo.
non ñoom kenn ñoom ñu ngi raglu all the time because ñoom soo leen xoolee rek seen kanam gi sax di nga xam ne ñii doon raglu all the time because su nga gis seen kanam yëpp ay maag la.
They are fearsome because
tuddee soba.
even if you looked at their faces, you'll see marks, and they were not always sober.
am na démb ku ñëw mu ngi wax Huru Hara.
Somebody came yesterday and was mentioning the name Huru Hara.
kooku mooy Huru Hara ñoom ñaar la da nga am Huru Hara.
There were two. You had Huru Hara.
So some people call them Huru Hara, some people call them Puchu Pacha.
Some people call them Huru Hara, some call them Puchu Pacha.
Usenu and Asan.
Some call them Usenu and Asan.
Ñoom ay twins ne ñoom ñaar rek a ànda.
They are twins because only the two of them work together.
waaw ñoom ñaar rek a ànda.
They are always together.
mooy seen tur Huru Hara Puchu Pacha.
Those are their names, Huru Hara, Puchu Pacha.
And you said they are never sober.
Dundee soba waaye man nag doon ma dee bàyyi xel bu baax because ñoom opération yu gars yi dee dugga yu nekk biir Banjul dama leen dee toppa because ñoom rider la gars yi man ma amee suma moto taxi la amee those days su gars yi duggee nii ma xam ne côté yàgga neen te man waa Banjul laa te du ma nangu ñu téye doomi Banjul yi di leen def naka su dul noonu dama leen dee kalaate seen diil yu bëri.
So I used to follow them in those days because they had a motorbike and I had a vehicle. Since I was a native of Banjul, I wouldn't want them to put Banjul citizens into situations that will make them suffer. So I used to go after them, follow them, and sometimes I used to foil some of their attempts. They were so angry with me that they usually threatened me.
From Atlantic, DG,
Tamba threatened me that one day he will undress naked and run all the way from Atlantic Ocean to the DG and report me because the man was to have been fighting him.
Incident, Gamtel House, surround about before you get ambush.
One day I found them at the Gamtel roundabout. They set an ambush. There were some Malians, the Bambaras, where they wash clothes. Behold, the Bambara had spoken to a woman and they were... They deal with it. Until they came to terms.
When they come into terms.
Yes.
So,
they were walking along going.
I saw
my senior officer.
Which one, Puchu or Pacha?
That is Puchu. Sala.
Sala.
Sala si boppam mu fay rider bi toppa gaay.
Sala practice rider and follow them.
Bambara bi yobu ko Tobacco Road last coin. Tambi. Ngula negam bi nega garage Dawda Nunu.
Bambara took this lady to Tobacco Road at the very end, close to the stream. After he took the lady into his room, then the
full light
came out, and that was when I came, because I knew where they were going to. I came and put the lights of my vehicle on them. And he said to me, my younger brother, am I the one that you are following? I said to him, well, I was alone behind, and I thought perhaps you were in a problem, so that was why I followed you. That was when he said to me, come. I So he said, he said this jahabi si bopam mo ma deglu mom xamna lu xew yeb jahabi si bopam doddi dafa joy bul wax tour de non xamul turam si xamna ni adresse am bi kanilay mo fa nek si ID card am bi wa kanilay la way jahabi fu la de ñew bañu la de ñew every time gudi 12 o'clock be one mu fa so si rawna baadu fu la de liggéey mu def defam okay what is on the ladies ID card is kanilay, and she normally comes to the roundabout and those are things. System si bopam
no further descriptions of the person, please. Huh? No further descriptions of the person.
Yeah.
So this Salah took all of our money that she worked that entire night. There was Sefa, which the Bambara had. He took all. He took all from him. I took all from him and I said, no, this money is not going. We went together with the lady until the arch, and he said he was going to look for a vehicle for the lady to go home.
How did you go to the arch?
He was pushing his motorbike. And the lady was walking.
How about you?
And the Bambara was... I was in my vehicle.
After that,
I knew where he was headed to, so I went past him and waited for him at the arch. I was his problem because I focused my attention on him. The lady came to me and pleaded with me and told me, tell your brother to give me my currency, and kept
I thought you took the money from him.
I didn't take all.
But what you took, what did you do with it?
I gave it to the lady. He held on to the safer. He wanted to give me some. I told him I was okay.
But are these things normal in the NIA?
This was what they were doing. Each night they went out, this was the kind of things they were doing. But when they went out, I usually followed them.
Aggressive any minute.
And I know that they were aggressive, and they could get aggressive any minute. They could have implicated themselves they can implicate themselves in many things and not even know how to get out of it.
So now let's go back to that night when you found the NIA, when the junglers arrived. What happened?
It was the following morning that I came and I saw Abbas and his face was swollen. I witnessed that. But I was not present where he was beaten, and I do not know who did the beating.
In your statement, let me take you back to paragraph 20.
ñaar fukka bi paragraph 20.
You said on another day, also around 1 o'clock in the morning, that would be in the early afternoon. Well, 1 o'clock in the morning, that should be early morning there. He says, OC 11 Jaju called me again and we have to go to the office. And upon arrival, we found that the other team members were already in the office. That is Alassane Balde and Jibril Kani. Then OC Dabo asked Jibril to go and bring in Abbas Jaju, who was in detention for a week now there. When he was brought, DJ Yankuba Baji also was in the office, and later the junglers also came in. The head of the junglers team was Lieutenant Nuha Baji. He came with Michael Jata Fansunyabali, Yaya Jamme, and their driver Suleiman Sambo. I take it that this is a different Yaya Jamme.
Yes.
Not His Excellency,
yes.
The President.
We call him chairman.
You call him chairman?
Yes.
Yes, the short one.
Yes.
Stocky.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Chairman, Mr. Chair, Yaya Jamme chairman, testified before the commission.
Which Yaya Jamme, Babil Mansa?
No, chairman.
Not the Babil Mansa.
Not Babil, but chairman. Chairman testified. And he's a real lookalike of His Excellency Sheikh Professor El Haji, Dr. Yaya Jamme. They look so much alike. And then what happened? And then you went on to say in paragraph 21 that from there on, because the office was too tight, but all the others were there, I went out of the office because once the junglers have arrived, it's going to be a real show for Abbas. Despite I was outside of the room, I can clearly see inside through the windows. And beside, it was late night and our team were the only ones in the premises. Later on, they came out of the office with Abbas and were taking him to invest at the back of our office. What happens there in invest at the back of the office?
No, I was not there actually because I did not go with them. But the leader of the junglers, what is the name again?
Ngane nekulo for one why njiti jongulasi.
Nuha Jamme.
Nuha what?
Is it Nuha Baji?
Yes, I guess you said Lieutenant
Nuha
Baji.
Baji mom si bufa mom don daf ma lenga sa mu ne ma señ Bass ñun mom tay sa gannende.
He said to me,
pour ñu walé ma si gannaaw.
Selim Bass, today we are your visitors. You wanted to take me behind.
And then what happened?
Don't do few steps after mu don wax.
We took few steps and he was speaking, and that was where I left him to go.
But in your statement,
why you doing a bindafi?
You said then Aliu Sumare, alias Tamoy, came to me and advised me not to join them because they are very wicked and treat people badly. Is that true?
Yes.
And what happened after that?
Tamay mo si gene because man bobu tanga mo ne kon suma first operation mo ñew goudi fofu nonu xam mo naka la fa tajo.
Tamay was the one that got me out of it because that was my first operation that night.
Yobu walé ma dima won ni boy mu ngi cool parce que dem tay sa gan ni kirib karab man fu don dem sa
I did not know where things were.
Boy after bu mu taxé di wax mu don wax Michael Jata tamay mu ne ma boy bul dem fofu de bu fa ega sa
when this guy tried to cajole me and tell me that we are your visitors and wanted to take me, it was Tama who advised me that let me not go along with these people.
And then what happened after?
Then guy dem Abbas gannaaw guy door ko fofu door metti after isi wat ko.
And they took him behind, beat him up seriously.
In your statement,
and then
you said,
brought him back.
In your statement, you said, all of a sudden, I saw them take hose pipes to torture Abbas. And then I found something back. I found back. I can safely say Abbas was tortured. I did not take part in it.
True.
Who tortured him?
kan moko don do nonu
actually xamoon na ko torture because eguma fa won way xamna ni boy yi yepam fa won ñuma mention ci that night.
I don't know who tortured him because I was not there, but all the boys that I mentioned earlier on were there that night.
Who did you see take the hose pipes?
kan nga gis mu jël hose pipe bi?
Michael Jatta.
Michael Jatta.
Well,
ba pare say nakal tura ñu ngi amone tamit taser.
taser.
We had taser.
Because ñom suñ dugasee fofu guddi gi loolu la gay def foyé tara ñu ngi taser fofu yépp su ko defee yow suñ waree jëflante yow sa fit du togagum.
Because they used to play with them when they come in night. They used to sparkle them in night, so that the one that they are about to deal with, once you see them, you are scared.
Time bu nekké Abbas di neexalante mom diko wax pour mu wacca.
When we are trying to talk softly to Abbas so that he could reveal things,
Abbas ang doon jéem a waste time yooyu gars yi nekku noonu di comply waaye after bu boy si excès jongla si.
he was wasting time and not compliant. But when the junglers arrived,
waaw ñoom ñëpp a jaxasoo fu mu nekk.
they were all
because ñu ngi leen a wax ni fu mu nekk yéen seen waxtu dee moo jot de.
they were all confused at the time because they were telling them that your time to die has come.
soo leen waxul ba boy ba leen jox gars yi rek you are finished.
Because if you don't talk until we hand you over to these people, you are finished.
So it's your testimony that all these people were tortured.
So mom ci sa kaddu moy dal ne ñi ñepp mugal nañ leen fa.
ñepp ñan?
ñom ñepp lañ bugal.
All of them.
All these people who were arrested and alleged to have been involved in a 419 scam.
ñi nga xamne ñom ngeen jappon ci tumal leen
ko fa mo nekk suma dombay ku santa ci date bi.
The only person who was not beaten was the one
invité fofu mu ñew wax na lu mu xam mu talan motom tam way joko so motom bang fa won yaga na fa Abbas motom bang fa won yaga na fa ñom ñepp sen moto yi after dañ ko fa tiyé yaga nañ fa.
The only guy who was not tortured is the guy I said is having the cease name. He came, spoke what he knew about the whole incident, and they allowed him to ride his vehicle out of the premises. But the others, Jokos, so Abbas and others, all of them, their vehicles were impounded.
Did the DG know that his friend Abbas was being tortured?
DG bi na xamone na ne xaritam bi Abbas door nañ ko fa.
Of course.
How do you know that?
Naka ko xamé?
Because after DJ mu ngi tok Abbas ngi tok.
DG was sitting and Abbas was sitting too. When they take you out and take care of you, they'll bring you back.
DJ mu ngi togon ci office.
The DG was sitting in our office.
Boy dañ la day jël gënal la yobul ci gannaaw.
The boys will pick you up, take you out to the back.
Ñu ngi him atay ak DJ.
And the others, we were brewing attire with the DJ.
So nu waxut lu gaay bu ga diga suñ la topato pa dañ la day isi wat.
If you don't tell them what they want to hear, after they have taken care of you, they will bring you back.
Since starting
I know that from the beginning they did not want to touch Abbas Jajo.
After things changed,
but when things changed, they took care of him.
Apart from this incident, there was another money dealer, money doubler who was brought in and beaten.
Amna keneen ko xamne mom tam mu daan jëflante ci ay njublan ci mbiri xaalis mom tam indi nañ ko fa door ko fa mak la.
It's one of the items you gave me.
Bokk na ci nga xamne wax nga fi.
Amna benn date bu dëkk fini naka tudd Fajikunda ci biir Dumos.
There was one dad living in Fajikunda in Dumos.
Information
We had information to pick him up.
Money doubling.
That he was involved in money doubling.
Passport
and fake passports.
Items old typing writers.
When we got to his room, we found those materials, the old typing machines.
Some counterfeit.
We found some counterfeit currency also, which we all picked. And, but to bring him out of that room was a problem. The whole of Fayukunda came out, and also he had some very mature daughters who came out and they were saying anything they could say.
Après gars yi am problème ak suma boy foofu sax.
They ended up having problems with my colleagues.
ñoom ñëpp leen indi yóbbu after.
And we had to take all of them along.
And was he beaten at the NIA? Was he tortured?
NIA na door nañ ko.
Dad boobu moom door nañ ko because dad bi dafa dëgër boppam.
Yes, they beat the dad because he was very stubborn.
moom pour mu dugg si moto boobu sax dafa bañ dafa xataraayu bari pour yuuxu make noise pour Gambia yëpp gën a si. loolu la pare woon because mu doon sacrifice yoo xam ne foofu.
Even to get into the vehicle, he was trying to make so much noise so that the whole of Fajikunnel will hear, to the point that even his trousers, how do I say this? Went off his body.
But who removed them?
No, security card. It
was in the scuffle. It was in the scuffle that the trousers got off his body. He did not use a belt. And secondly, when we came to look for him, he was hiding. And we came there since early morning. If you saw me that day, you'll think I was a fool the way I was dressed.
I was a madman.
I was a madman. I came in the morning, bought some porridge, and tied my shirt on my head, just like a madman. I disguised myself because my boys were inside and they've been there for a long time. And I was not supposed to go inside. I was supposed to wait because the pickup was in another location. Things took so long that I decided to disguise myself and I held on my porridge bowl and got inside. Balde and G, who were inside, had identified themselves to the mother of the person that we had come to pick.
Because I mean information that we did that night.
Because we got information that the dad came from Bissau that night and he was home. They said he spent the night there.
So mother boy don't buy time for togale di waxtanal maire bi man ma dugasi buma gene nak maire bi mu ngi wax balde ni holal ni ñamato jubbe. So Balde and the colleague were there chatting with the mom of the person we have come to apprehend. And when I was going out with my bowl, the old woman said to Balde, look at this madman. As I was coming out, that was when I saw him jumping over the fence to the next compound. The boys were sitting there, but they did not know that this man was making an attempt to escape. When we had the noise of bulls clinking against each other, that was when the boys got up and they followed. Because security card bu doomam bu jigéen tam ñu ngi wone ki nekk fi bu len duggal sun kër bu len ñu jaay doole bu len trespass ci crib card they were saying all these file words, so ñu tam ñu forcer rek. So that was when the boys forcefully got into the room.
And then you caught him. And then the param started.
After ne ko yobu Banjul mom tamit
we did go Banjul too.
ñom dafa melni ñom sulu gaay nekk non do ci des proud because mom tam ngay yuxu ci kaw mu wori wut mu ngay wax nit mu ngay saga ndey ku nekk. It was as if non saga ndey ku ko ragalu ñun ragalut kenn ci ñun.
It was as if he was proud of what he was saying, and he was saying it aloud and insulting our mothers.
In the end, he was taken care of.
Yes.
Mercilessly beaten.
We beat him, yes.
By the special ops.
So I don't know because mom sa handcuff la re door. You handcuff nit because man wan nako several times man ko bro yo di nga rey nit de because dafa day handcuff ba pare sa handcuff bi la re bug di door sa loxo yi rek dafa gëna tight. So after man lol sa amna sé mom problème Balde man ko boy yow that at least nga tiki loxo mi sa man no.
Balde was the one who did the most beating because usually when he is beating you, he usually beat on the handcuffs. And one time I told him that you will one time kill somebody here. He was so angry with the man that he tore his shirt.
Okay. But this guy was beaten by all of you from special ops.
Why waji mom yeen ñepp ko door yeen ñu bayé ko special operation.
ñun ñëpp de ñun ñu nekkoon ci operation boobu noonu.
Not all of us. Those of us who were present on that particular operation.
Give us names, please.
Jox ñu tur yi.
You've mentioned yourself.
Wax nga ne yow sa bopp.
Did you beat him?
Yes.
Yes.
Balde?
Balde nak?
Balde, did he beat him?
Yes.
Door na ko.
Yes.
Who else?
G.
G, that is Jibril Kanyi. And who else?
Tamai
Tamai
and Echo.
and Echo. Okay. Tamai is Aliu Sumare.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but earlier on you told us that Aliu Sumare was the only person who you never saw participate in any beating.
Yes.
But on this occasion he beat.
It's false. Sorry.
Martin says everybody beats.
Well, man, Tamai do dore. Well, man, musuma feke fu mo dore.
Well, I cannot say that Tama does not
speaking. Musuma feke fu mo dore.
Those people. But I've never witnessed where he beats somebody. In fact, in that office, if you refuse to do beating, if it gets to a point where people are beginning to
don't facilitate pour mu dugg ci moto bi by force te bir ci bir lolu nak c'est la cour feñen te yu dor because dal bi daf mu ngi bañ mu ñoo poñé mu ngi pousse so ci bir lolu ni ko don
is that what is called the pirim param?
Waaw bobo pirim param bi.
The pirim param was when the dad was resisting being put into the vehicle because he was throwing blows at us, and that was where the scuffle started.
And tell us about Kamara, the cattle dealer.
Wax ñu Kamara nak li nga xamne moy doon def njëri jaayam nak.
Waaw Kamara mom tena nagi yaay jame la jëlon di jaay xawma dam ko joxon pour mu jaay isi waat xaliss bi mom xawma naka la fa taajo non dal after ñu dem jëliko.
Kamara, I think he had taken some cattle from Jame to slaughter and sell, and after that he did not retire the money, and after that we were asked...
No. I think what he said was Kamara was giving Yaya Jame's cattle. He doesn't know whether it was to sell or not. He doesn't know what the arrangement was. All right, but we had to go pick him up. Proceed, please.
So after we go, say mom don't comply.
So when we brought him, he too was not compliant.
Well, man, don't work together.
But to me, he was speaking the truth.
Well,
But they did not believe what he was saying.
Nit moko mix ak amna dal ko amon ko joxon nag yoy nonu on behalf of Yaya Jammeh xawma naka way after ko moko report nako comme yow nga amel nit xaliss nga amel nit dara nit ko laaj la sa alal nga ne affaire ci ki nga ko jox ñu isi ko nak diko laaj lolu nonu waaw mom ci lolu
So he, as far as you know, he was not directly dealing with Yaya Jammeh.
Yes.
Comme ni ko xamé ne ko mom ci bopam mo doon jëflante Yaya Jammeh.
Dana bena date mo fa joxe turam date bu nekk ci batuwar bi ko Yaya Jammeh doon denk bagage bi.
He mentioned one old man's name at the abattoir who Yaya Jammeh was keeping his things with.
Koko mo fa mention turam after ñu isu ko traaj lu nekk mu baña wax fan la bagage duga.
He mentioned his name. They brought him, tried to ask where the materials were, but he was not cooperating.
So what happened? And then Kotopato, or he was given VIP treatment?
Did you take care of him?
Or given the VIP treatment?
All of them were combined. He was beaten.
Because he
was beaten mercilessly. I pitied him in the end because all of his body was wounded.
Who participated in that one?
Balde.
And who?
Echo.
Lamin Dabo mo door Dorisa.
Lamin Dabo started the beating.
Lamin Dabo. This guy, Balde. Echo. Who else?
Agman.
And myself. I think we were the ones.
Okay. Did he confess in the end?
I don't believe he spoke. I think he did not even commit that offense. He was just
there was anything positive we have from that guy.
You mentioned in your list a person called Yusuf Asedi. Also in this statement, you mentioned somebody called Yusuf Asedi Lee. What can you tell us about that?
Yusuf Asedi Lee. Kan nga mëna wax ci affaire am?
Koku bena dina ko dama pigi.
We picked him up one day.
Tena si kesi ñom joko sobi la bokade.
I think it was with regards to the Joko's case.
Was he tortured?
No.
She's the lucky one. Is he the person called C?
No.
Okay, or they're different, two different persons.
Right.
So these are the two lucky persons who are not tortured.
And the other guy Silla.
And the other guy called Silla.
Yes.
Okay.
Amongst the incidents I witnessed. But the one who sells cattle was beaten.
Okay. There is this Daru Hairu case. The Marabu from Daru Hairu.
Well, because office
I don't know much about that case because I came to the office that day and I found one sheriff. I asked my colleagues and they told me that he lived in Serekunda. But the situation, I don't know whether it was between him and the president or something like that. I think when they picked him up in his house, he had traveled before and he came and was doing a sacrifice. He had slaughtered a ram. As my colleagues explained to me, as soon as he slaughtered his ram, they gripped him and brought him along.
For how long was he detained? As far as you can recall?
Those darts took a long time there, or spent a long time there.
The information you gave us, it's more than 3 months?
Yes. Yes. I think it's either him and his father or his son. I think it's a family, but they were all Marabous.
In all this that was happening at this place, the special ops, do you have any regrets?
Well, council, truly speaking,
Truly speaking, council, I never knew that was the way that office was. I worked in the army until I left, and I got to any office I wanted to, and I never had any issue with anybody. But the issue of Joko Sow,
and
that camera, the guy involved in the fake money, whether it's a Malian or not, I don't know. I went to Abuko on 2 occasions to inquire about him, but I never got the chance to meet him.
Since day one, but other
than that, since day one that I got into that office, I regretted why I went there.
Because is a noble job that we do for our country. With wholeheartedly.
I thought this was service to my country, and that was work that the citizens of this country had to do, and if they were to do it, they should do it in gladness. But when I realized that there was bias in the work, that we were continuously used anyhow, even our own people began to look at us with suspicion. But I don't know about other people, but for me personally, that was not the way I was trained. I thank God a lot because Aliu Smare was always there by my side assisting me. If it were not for Tamai, my hand would have been stained in many cases.
Because you bury before all.
Also the prayers of my parents, because when I come they used to talk with me. I was not like that.
All the time to try don't ko daan absorb because dama dem mëna toga gaay di waxtana gaay ci yefi diine aussi yefi yalla yu demé nonu la nta was def interesting.
I used to talk to them about matters of God and religion, and I think at some point they were absorbing my message. Even Laminda got interested.
But after so another bi yagé,
but you know when people are together for a long time,
because my gis ni suma gaay yu ma andal yeb ñu ngi def li ñu ko def ñu ma bay ci biir man tamit dama bëgg participate fully.
I realized that the people that I worked with, they were engaged in activities and I was left out. At some point, I felt I too had to get involved. That was why I changed my way and began to beat people.
Truly speaking,
I myself, if anyone were to beat me, I would not like it. I apologize here wholeheartedly for those people that I have dealt with in not proper manner, for them to forgive me.
Do you know this Paul guy who used to deal in foreign currency?
Xam nga waye pour bi nga xamne daf daan jëflante ci mbiri xaaliss bitim rew.
Wéci kati xaaliss la.
Wéci kati xaaliss la won.
He lived in Manjai.
Ngi dëkk Manjai.
Wéci kati xaaliss bu dëkk Manjai.
I can't remember that money changer who lived in Manjai.
Now is your opportunity. He's a brother of Baris Bureau de Change, Bureau de Change. Your people caught him and took his money.
Is the muscle on 1 minute?
I needed a minute if you could allow me.
No problem. You want me to? Mr. Chair. Are you aware of that incident?
When
this money changer, his money was taken by members of your team.
Where was that?
The guy lives in Manjai. You're not aware of that. But isn't it normal that your colleagues would extort money from people? When somebody goes to report a matter, the person comes and money is extorted from that person.
I don't understand.
I would say it in Wolof. Léegi daftaan am nit ñoo boole si nit si seen office diw sangam amel na ma nangam o diw sangam daf na ma nangam.
Once in a while,
sangam boobu
someone comes to your office and leaves a complaint that someone owes them a debt or someone has done something to them.
Diw sangam boobu biñ indi foofu balaa ngeen koo bàyyi di ngeen jël dara ci moom.
And then you will go and collect that person who is accused, and before you let the person go, you would have extorted money from the person. If someone comes and claims recovery or claims that someone owes them a debt, tell Lamintabo or someone concerned in the office to handle it. They'll tell me, Bas, call this person owes this other person money. I will call you and invite you to come. And those are the cases I showed you. There was an incident where one NI officer owed someone, and the guy reported and asked us to assist him to recover the money. If I call you to come, I'll explain to you that you owe so and so person money. If you admit to owing monies to that person, I'll ask you where is the money. Otherwise, if you don't have the money there instantly, we'll draw a payment plan. But I will not beat you, I will not insult you. We'll sit down and discuss and look at ways in which you may be able to repay the money.
Every month or every week or every day.
You are the one who will tell me either every month or every week, this is the amount that I will be able to pay.
Then then we go ahead.
Then I will call the person owed and relay the message to him or her. If the plan favors him or her, we will go ahead. Otherwise, so after recovering all the amount, whatever you give me, 5,000, 10,000, I'll take it.
Sometimes even the person who owed money would be asked to pay something to the NIA staff to be before his release.
NIA
Are NIA personnel involved in taking protection money from business people?
Wa NIA ndax dinañ dé jël xaliss ci julay lo xamné dinañ leen mëna ar ci
li leen chantage rek da nga ñew di sangam so leen ma joxut li ñu
non lolu yeguma ko de deguma ko de
I'm not aware of that. I have not heard about it.
These private matters that are usually reported to the NIA, I have seen you've given me a list of several instances where you have collected debts from the people. Do you realize, is this fact known to your bosses, that NIA staff were doing this? They were collecting debts on behalf of people. The agency was being used privately by individuals.
Legi ay nit ñu joté rek ki amel na ki ak ay joté seen digante ñu indi leen fofu ci NIA boole ci leen ndax seen kilifa yi seen njiit yi xamoon nañ ne yéen a doon def loolu
ñoom seen bopp ñu ko day jox man nit du ñëw rek ne ma defal lii ma def loolu noonu man suma bopp sax suma nit amee sax du ma ko mën a isi foofu because kuy dugal foofu foog ñu bind sa tur si bunta bi sécurité yi foog ñu kon loolu yëpp te bëgg boobu dafa dem si DJ dañoo xam kan a dugal si fii tey ku dugal si foofu dina mën a xam kii lan la fi ut si ak si kan la ñëwoon.
They themselves would be the ones giving us those assignments. Because I myself, even if someone owed me, I would not bring that person there. Because anyone that enters into this complex has his or her name booked in the diary.
So, list mo la jox nonu Ustaz Dramé list mu fa Akibayo case bobu tamit Lamin Daw mo ko jox. If
you look at the list, Akidabu and Ustaz case, Akibayo and the Ustaz's case is there. Lamin Dabo gave me that case. And things of that nature. They take private cases and bring them in there.
Are you aware that this is all unlawful?
I never knew.
This is NIA is an intelligence agency. This is not work for the state.
True.
xam nga ñun ñu ngi ñëw pour ñu ngi ñëw si office bi fresh ñun ñoo jàngal job bi ñun lu ñu gaay def leen lii rek loolu la def.
You know, we came newly to the office and whatever they asked us to do was what we did.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have no further questions for the witness, except to say that in your statement you told us that most of these tortures were done for and on behalf of Yaya Jammeh.
waa jërëjëf Chairman amatuma lu ma ko laaj xanaa rek ci sa kàddu yi day wax nga fi ne lii ngeen daan def di mbugal nit ñi di leen mitital yëpp yéen a ngi ko doon def ci turu Yaya Jammeh.
Because ñun loolu la ñu gars yi dee wax.
That was what they told us.
They will always tell us this. ñun suñ case yëpp case bu dee jógee si State House la dee jógee ñëw ñu toppatoo.
That all our cases emanated from the State House, and when they come to us, we took care of them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Counsel. The list that you referred to, private matters that NIA got involved in, are you going to submit it as an exhibit, or can we have an idea of what is on that list?
I can exhibit it, Mr. Chair. These are diary entries. These are diary entries of...
Maybe if you can read it then,
yes,
and tell us what's on that list.
Okay. I mean, it depends on how it is organized. Okay, I'll put this one in. This is an undertaking by one Momodu Samate of Kotu, who owed one woman called our Wad, and it was $150,000, and a payment plan was made. And this is a document is here to witness that. There is here also another document, one Basiru Bajo. This was a visa issue. 600 euros was paid, and 600 euros and $10,000 and another $60,000 for pocket money. This was the Akibayo case, Akubayo and Ustaz Dramé. We have a document to show that. There is also an undertaking by one Adama Gay to pay $55,000. I don't know to who. Yes, that is to Aliu Baji, I believe. And there are a few diary entries of the witness showing some of the transactions. I would not put in the diary entry, but I would put in these 3 documents as evidence of private matters being handled by the NIA.
The private matters between individuals who are not
yes.
NIA.
Yes, they have nothing to do with the state. And this should be Exhibit 190, if you accept them, Mr. Chair. Exhibit 190, Exhibit 191, and Exhibit 192. Sorry, Exhibit 190A and Exhibit 190B.
Thank you so much, Counsel, for that. These are situations that the special operations unit got involved in. Tortures, money doubling. Oh, please, sorry, interpretation.
ay mbir la yoo xam ne yéen special operation seen unit boobu ci yi ngeen daan dugal seen boppa ci ay mitital nit ñi ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo daan def ay njublang ci mbiri koppar.
Just doing the list of tortures, money laundering, drug dealing, prostitution, extortion.
li ngeen daan dugal seen boppa ci mbiri njublang ci wàlli xaalis di mitital nit ñi di jëflante ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy jigéen ñi jaay seen boppa ak yu mel noonu.
Extraordinary.
du doy waar la.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Witness,
seede bi.
I listened to you very carefully.
déglu naa la bu baax nag.
You sound like a very religious person. In fact, to say you are an angel.
ni ma la gisee nii daal danga mel ni ku am diina.
Are you still working with the NIA?
ndax léegi ba léegi yaa ngi liggéey ak NIA.
Yes, sir.
With all the things you have done with your companions and all the evil things you did to people, why are you still working with the NIA?
ak yow jëf yu bon yi nga xam ne def nga ko ak sa ay naataango yëpp ak li nga xam ne teg nga ko nit ñi foofu lan moo tax nga des ba tey di liggéey NIA.
that am nga léegi moom mën naa ne jëf ju bon la because ñun bu ñoo def lii yëpp mënuñu woon a xam ne sax nit ñi la fa taajoo because ñu ngi tegoon ni ñun ñu ngi liggéey ngir suñu dëkk rek ak suñu réew.
These bad things we did at the time, we did not see them as such. We thought that we were doing this for our state. But the reason why I still remained in the NIA,
because nekkuma di liggéey ba pare dama bëgg a liggéey moo tax maa ngi liggéey NIA bi léegi.
because I want to continue to be working. That's why I'm still with them up to now.
Are you not convinced that what you are doing is really wrong?
Now I am convinced that this is all wrong. Very, very wrong.
Can't you have another job if you want to?
Yes, I would like to have another job better than this one.
Please think twice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman.
And thank you, Mr. C, for your testimony.
Mr. C,
the first question I want to ask you is, you mentioned that there were cases where you saw your detainees being tortured.
wax nga fi ne am na ay jamono yoo xam ne gis nga ñi nga xam ne ñoom ngeen jàpp ñu di leen mitital di leen mbugal.
And in fact, in one case you said you saw one of the detainees with a swollen face.
am na ci boo xam ne sa wax nga ne gis nga borom kanam gaa ngi néewi xarxanam bi.
Did you offer them any medical treatment?
ndax di ngeen leen daan faj.
Normally ñoom suñu jëflante yow ba pare si élection.
Normally, if they dealt with you the following day,
they
will take you to the clinic.
We have clinic for
We have a clinic there.
Then they will take care of you there.
And they will take care of you there.
In fact, I was coming to the issue of the clinic. Thank you for mentioning it. What was the purpose of that clinic?
maa ngi doon bëgg a ñëw sax ci mbiri clinique boobu noonu fajeekaay bi moom lan mooy jubluwaay bi ñu def ko fa.
mooy ñun suñu feebaree we report sick there and then we have medication.
That is for us.
tamit koo xam ne dafa gaañu foofu noonu dara jot ko suñu loxo ñu yóbbu ko foofu ñu jox ko garab.
It was for us. When we got sick, we went there and get medication. Also, the detainees there, if one of them gets injured, after we dealt with the individual, they too go there and get treatment.
We received information that the clinic was also used to fabricate, for instance, death certificates and things like that. Can you confirm that?
am nañ xibaar goo xam ne sax wax nañ ne dañ ko daan jëfoo pour di tappale daal ay kayit wane ne kii dee na pour kayit bi mun a seede dee boobu noonu ndax yëg nga loolu.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, thank you. The other question is that you also mentioned that
leneen li tamit wax nga fi ne
when you went to arrest one of the elders, he was about to pray or he was praying.
ba ngeen am na koo leen demoon pour jàppa mu ngi doon waajal julli.
And you ask, is it Lamin Dabo if that he should also pray. So, were you torturing people and then praying? Because when we went to visit the NIA, we also saw a mosque there.
No,
as for the prayers, as for me, I pray my 5 times daily. I don't know about others. And these tortures you are talking about?
The same thing.
The same thing. If you do something that you know that is not right, after that you go and pray to God and seek for forgiveness.
And what about the victims? Do you ask them to forgive you, or are you willing to ask your victims to forgive you?
That is what I want. In fact, that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to come here. I don't want to meet with somebody and I will be looking downwards. That is my wish. Anyone that has that I have maltreated in my time there, Jokoso and cattle dealers
and Kamara. I want all of them to forgive me. And the old man, the other vulnerable.
All of them, I appeal to them. I think I met with him in the Gambia. Offered me a drink in the Gambia. We sat down and chatted, and I told him that that was not my intention.
Because at the beginning, the modern policy, the modern oversight, the modern new office was a nibi. Because the boy nyom the new desk for neka siluga desk for neka sililaga neka.
In the beginning, I was sidelined.
What happened? Hamga. After one must ball and Abuma Ham to help. After working, I was limo video happened. Montegrana Salutama Bolis Smoke.
Before I was sidelined, when the day ends, I just go home, but the boys will be left behind, and behold, these were the activities they were engaged in. But when I got involved, I regretted why I went there in the first place.
So you would say that peer pressure was also one factor why people participated in torture and other illegal activities at the NIA?
Bon dafa melni mën nañu wax ne da pour topando sa andandori ñoo la daan pousse ba nga dem topalen nga roy leen dal ci nga xamne mom lañ doon def.
Because lolu mo ne ko the order of the day.
That was the order of the day.
Thank you. Imam is the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee. Maybe he will talk to you about your willingness to participate in reconciliation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Bishop Adekar, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. C.
Sir.
Bishop Odiko Mola Laj, Mr. C.
You're a very fine young gentleman. Now, most of the victims that you tortured, were they your age group?
No.
No.
They were older to you?
Man gisuma fa ko xamni sa tuma age group la de.
I did not see anyone who was my age group.
They were older to you?
They are older than me. They can even, some of them can even be my father. Like also.
At that time, what went through you when you were torturing people that were older to you, or even some of them that could be your parents?
Jamono ji nga xamé ne ya ngay mbugal ay nit ñoo xamné sax mën nañu nekk sa ay wayju naka nga dé yek lo dé yek
man nekul suma ciobéré nekul luma buga nekul luma like because
it was not my intention, it was not something that I liked to do.
Luma jangal moy sa mag dang ko jox cieur.
What I was taught is that someone that is older than you, someone who is your elder, you must honor them.
dama fekk ñuy liggéey noonu loolu la ñu gars yi doon jàngal loolu la ñu gars yi doon won ni suñ fi amee détenu koo xam ne bëggut a wax dañ koo toppatoo.
For these people, when I found them there,
te man tamit ma jàpp ne li mooy liggéey bi man tamit ma nekk ci.
this was the way they were operating, and these were the things that they were teaching us, that whenever they have a detainee who was not cooperating, there was a particular way that person had to be treated.
You do mistake, you know, doubt.
You dare not make the mistake of being asked to do something and you'll be expressing doubt.
You mention here, after torturing the people, you go to God and seek for forgiveness. Don't you think it should have been the other way around? You should have asked for forgiveness from the victims first.
That is true. That is why wherever I meet with them, I used to apologize to them. Jokoso, not one time, not twice.
The same thing.
The other that we arrested in Fajikunda, the same thing. Because even myself, I used to feel that I felt that I have committed an offense which I had to apologize for, which is making me uncomfortable sometimes. Because I know that if someone had done the same thing to my father or my mother or even to myself, I wouldn't have liked it. Because we do not have any means. We are doing the work. Because it is only now that we are getting to know
every day
how things were there.
TRC every download.
So it is a TRC that is opening up the eyes of people.
One after the other, because no boy you don't want to TRC boy you lesson like school university la
because all the citizens of the TRC I usually would download them and watch. Even my colleagues.
Sa rights ak fi nga xam ne yaa ngi yaxal loi bi loolu su ëllëg keneen du ñëw dama naan defal lii kenn dofut fu mu nekk léegi si NIA bi kenn dofut mu ne ma kay nga def lii
and even my colleagues
mu ne ma kay nga dóor kii nii amul kenn dooroo ko si kaw ba si suuf kenn dofut mu ne ma toccool kii oo nga def lii nii because time boobu ñun xamul woon ni la fa taajo because ñu ngi teg is the order of the day soo ko defut yaa ngi ci problème.
Even my colleagues who usually would say there is no point in watching the TRC, I used to tell them this is a school, a university for people to learn and get to know their rights, to know the limitations of what they can do and what not to do. Because before we thought that what we were doing was just part of the work that we had to do. But with the education that we have now acquired through these TRC proceedings, I don't think there is anybody within the NIA, starting from the highest office holder to the last person, who can commit me to torture anybody, given what I now know.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinte.
Good afternoon, Mr. C.
Mr. C,
you told us you regret most of what you engage in. And you have attempted to apologize and seek for forgiveness from the various individuals. In fact, you went further to say you were disappointed that Joko Sow did not admit or reveal that you had apologized a number of times. Maybe the way you approach Joko and the others may not have been sufficient enough and convincing enough that you regretted what you did.
xëy ci anam yi nga xam ne ñoom nga dee ñaanee njégal ci ñoom loolu doyut leen pour wane ne rëccu nga li nga def.
And the way you casually did it may have also indicated to them that you had no remorse for your deeds.
xëj ci anam yu yomba yi nga xam ne noonu nga ko defee taxut ñu mun a jàppane dëgg-dëgg li nga def loolu rëccu la.
I thought it was going to be better you look for an elderly person, and a respectable person that will lead you to their homes or to a venue where it will be mutually agreed, and then you play and apologize.
Nim doon gënee nga ut kilifa wala koo xam ne kuñ ormal la nga àndaa moom fekk ko ba këram wane ne da nga ñëw ñaan si njégal ci ñoom lu dul rek tasee ñoom di njégalu.
Wala ngeen d'accord place boo xam ne foo nga naa daje. Parce que mun na am doo óolu ne dem seen kër mun na see am dara.
Or you arrange to meet at a neutral place if you are not sure about your security in their homes.
Waaye loolu boo ko defut borom dina foog ne kii boo oytu sax mu foog ne mu ma ñaawal après lu ma def yëpp ma daje ci yoon bi de moo ne ma baalal.
Your victims may even not take you seriously and think that you are even mocking them after what you've done to them.
How do you see this way?
No, li nga wax dëgg la daat. Because
what you have said is the truth.
Pour ma approach leen sax dama am pour I just have to force myself. Because last time bi buma mujjee meet Abbas Jaaju maa ngi ko meet King's Bakery.
Even to approach them, I had to force myself. The last time I met Abbas Jaaju at the King's Bakery,
mu ngi toog jabaram.
He was sitting with his wife.
ma ñëw ma nuyu ko sax.
I came, I greeted him.
jabaram mooy suma witness mu ngi toog foofu ñoom ñaar dafa ngi toog mu ne ko suma mag gi nakam.
His wife is my witness. They both of them were seated there.
maa ngi jégalu de bro si affaire si bilaay.
And I said, my brother, how are you? I apologize for what transpired between us on the incident, and things were not the way they looked, because each time I meet you, I'm always embarrassed.
Nice man nga yow ku la gis ta xamni yow amulo ben stress waye ma ngi jégal bu baaxa baax bilaay mu nga jégal ma all the time daf ma dé woni baal na la waye man dama dé gis ni dal it's not enough, because mom ci bopam dama dé gis ni dama dé wax ni ngi cool rek mu ngi cool waye feel mo ni dal mu ngi comfort with that.
I told him, you're a nice man. Anyone that sees you knows that I'm a nice man. I'm apologizing. He keeps telling me that I have forgiven you, but I'm not too sure about that acceptance of his.
Even Joko Sow si bopam mom tamit tassé na mom ñaari yoon benn yoon sa dama tek ni def ma topa.
Joko Sow, I met with him twice. On one occasion, I even thought he was trailing me.
Yes, because ma ngi dawal mu ngi dawal.
Because I was riding my vehicle and he was on his vehicle.
You had the right choice. Ma jontam pour la ma break fofu ma gisat ko ba pare mu ngi amna ku tok ci kanam moto bi mu ko wax ma affaire lool la non la ko gisé dal.
I came to the right choice.
With that person and Johnson looking at me.
I took a bend going to my home, and I saw him behind me with somebody who was seated in front with him, and I assumed that that individual was talking to him about me.
Fuma pak ba baaxut ma break instantly ma ñëwaat ba si moom pour won ko ni gis naa la ma ñëw ne ko suma mag gi xanaa bii moom mën nga toppa nag.
Where I even parked my vehicle was not the proper place, but I stopped. I came back to him and I said to him, my brother, are you trolling me? Forgive me, and I apologize again.
Ma ne ko maa ngi jégalu bu baax nga baal moo tax man dama surprise bu mu ñëwee si TRC bi ba pare mu mention Balde ñaari yoon mu ngi tasee Balde but mention suma tur foofu man daf ma jaaxal trop.
So I was very surprised when he testified here before the commission and mentioned that he met with Balde twice but did not mention my name. That was something that was surprising to me.
xam naa ne Balde mu ngi dëkk Bundu moom mu ngi Burusu bi area bi man maa ngi Burusu bi ñun lu ndee gisee moo ëppa.
Balde is in Bundum, but he and I both live in the Brusubi area, and we frequented each other more often than the other guy.
Maybe your torture was heavier than that of your participation was more significant than that of Balde. Don't you think so?
Hejna yo mugal yin ko jot mo gëna metti Balde yim ko def fogolo ko.
Li nga wax nonu duma ko weddi de.
What you say, I will not dispute it.
Waye xamna ni man jëflante na mom rek waye lu ko ñeneen ñi def mo uppa téeméer yoon ma lu ma ko def. moom lu tax du fàtte suma boss bi moo nekk man bu ma ko laal di ji sax mu ngi toog foofu noonu because mooy bu ubbee kees si xaalis bi ñëw fekk fa blocks foofu la mooy first time ma laal Jokoso ba pare moom DJ mu ngi toog ñëpp a ngi toog mu ngi wax ne tapale bi 419 bi baax na si dëkk bi lii dafa jox dëkk bi xaalis di proud si loolu noonu loo xam ni yaa ngi toroxal bi geneen doomi Adama yow nga ne yow loolu baax na si dëkk bi ba pare di ko def ndam ba pare di si ree loolu moo ma ekkati ba ma ko laal foofu noonu laal bi nga xam ne boobu du ko fàtte.
The reason why perhaps he cannot accept to forgive
because I'm not guest
is because when we opened the suitcase and we found the blocks there.
After man sama regret lolu because after buma don def lolu tay mako.
Te am nga ne commando mbeje commando dina wara metti lol.
So you know that a commando says
buma don def lolu wala ni rek tay mako.
Especially bu fekke mu ngi dem be furious.
No. We know for that.
Okay.
When I'm not, because after I realized this, someone small boss and talk. Because I
know that when I was doing that,
because the brags affairs he content
because he was bragging about his actions, claiming that such activity will bring money for the country.
Yeah, I just want to reinforce Commissioner Carr's points that TRRC has a special unit or committee they call the Reconciliation Committee. Jallo is the chair of that committee.
Commissioner Kalim wax ne am nañ committee bo xamne mën nañ fa indi jégal digënté nit ak nit.
If you have been keen with TRRC's activities, they have moderated a good number of reconciliation programs.
Te Imam Jallo mo jité lolu su fekké né yang dé faral di top programme TRRC di nga sétlu né yoyu def nañ ko fi yoon.
And the chair and the lead council have also been very instrumental in such a mediation and facilitation.
The chairman bi ak lead council ñoom tamit farlu nañ bu baax ci doxal mbir yoyu.
Explore that opportunity and with remorse you seek forgiveness.
Xel nak nga jëfoo ak ñoom.
Thank you.
Joko ak ñoom bu ko defee nga mëna jëriñu ci bunta bobu dal di ñaan jéggal.
Definitely.
Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Mr. Chair, just so that we don't miss this particular issue, when you slapped Joko Sow in the presence of your Director General, did he say anything?
Ba nga mbéjee Joko Sow ci sa kanami Director General wax na dara.
No dara.
Nobody said anything.
Okay. Thank you. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Basiru dana pular. Help lawani.
Council, can you give us a moment to sort ourselves here?
Yo, nam so an ko gere sarifa jo mo
Imam, so hold on a second, Imam. What's the situation?
Li balay laaj moy affaire service bi ngeen Japon.
For the say that, Imam.
He's speaking about
No, but everything's okay there?
Well, if he speaks in all of yes, we are good.
Well, are you ready?
Yes, we are. Indeed.
Thank you.
Li balay laaj moy service bi ngeen Japon.
The sheriff that you arrested,
Service bi ak nim fa yagge naka la nekké won fofu.
of all the time that he spent there, what was his condition like?
Waaw comme ni ko amna demba ko fi ñewon Sadio bu mu doon explain né amna ño xamné ñu ngi am place fofu so dugassé ci NIA bi rek amna ben salle bu mag bo xamni pour magé len ak kilifa yi.
As Samuel explained there yesterday, there's a special room where we keep elders there and officials.
Big room la with ventilation, everything. But ñu ngi am sen sponge fofu, ñu ngi am sen sanké yi fofu, ñu ngi am sen sajada yi dañoo julli.
It's a big room, has mattresses. They have their praying mats, good ventilation.
ñoom fofu la gaay nekk.
That was where they were.
Waye mom ken doorul ko fa.
But nobody beat him there.
Dégguma fu ko dooré o gisuma ko de man fekkewu mako.
I did not hear of him being beaten. I have never seen it
too. Teg leen benn place bu yàgga rek dooru de.
Except to keep them
dégguma fu leen dooré
in one place for a long time. But I have not heard them being beaten.
Well, even Serif Bomo, every time mu dugassé fofu da mo dé ñaanal maas mo daf mo dé ñaanal ba rek mo ma jox nombam so mu ne ma anytime so lié mu nga ma sétti ba tay dem mo sétti ko.
Sheriff, each time he comes in, he used to pray for me and my colleagues and even gave me his number and asked me to visit him. But up to date, I have not visited him. When you were enrolling into these things, or when you were getting into these things, were you married? I was married long before.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fine. If you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to do so now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Lead counsel bi.
Thank you, lead counsel.
Commissioner, yen ñu tok fi yépp ci room bi ma ngi leen nuyu yeen ñëpp seen tur ak seen sant di leen balu aha bu baaxa baax.
All the commissioners seated here, I greet you and
di sant Yalla ci opportunity bi ngeen ma jox ni mu ñew tok seen kanam.
I'm thanking God for the opportunity you have accorded me to come here and sit before you.
Ba pare di wax sama colleagues ni suñu ñëwé neen wax dëgg.
And also to admonish my colleagues that when they come here, let them speak the truth.
Wow, because dëgg rek mo ñu ci mëna génné.
Because it's only the truth that can set us free.
Wow, dama jangal ni so waxé dëgg suñu la réyé sa yaangi janna.
They taught me that if you speak the truth, even if you are killed, you go to heaven.
Way so fi nekké di wax fen tamit da nga guddal affaire ci té dara du dem.
If you are here speaking, telling lies, you just prolong the process and nothing will come out of it. And I tell my colleagues, let them not fear any individual, let them only fear God. But even myself, I fear no one except God.
So don't take
even if you put a knife on my throat,
because
I know that it is only the truth that can set me free.
One way or the other.
That is why I am apologizing to anybody that I once touched at the NIA in one way or the other. This opportunity that I have here, I don't know what its extent is.
Because
it is possible that I might have done something to somebody whom I have forgotten about.
The whole Gambian apologize.
That is why I am here and been watched by the entire Gambia. That anybody that I might have dealt with in an improper manner at the NIA, I appeal to them to forgive me. I appeal to my colleagues, those that I have mentioned here and those that I have not mentioned. They know me. Let them not come here and try to muddle the water. Let them just speak the truth. Truth is what pleases God. And truth is all. If you speak the truth, even if you are killed, you are in heaven. This is what I believe.
So man bala ma ñu ci ami bi ma ngi doon jangal mo doon 100 something xalé yo xamni suma ko jëm Sénégal xalé yépp ma lay jangal dara.
Before I went into the army, I was teaching Quranic school to well over 150 kids. So if they should hear me today lying or narrating something that is not what is true, that would not be nice. That was why I came here wholeheartedly and narrated all the things that I have done. I will not come here to say things that will please an individual or the NIA. I'm here to tell exactly what happened. And I'll not look anybody in the eyes.
Well, before this,
well, before this, some individuals were calling me and asking me, are you going to talk about this matter? Are you going to talk about this issue? I even spoke to them harshly. I told them nobody will tell me what to say or what not to say. When I go, I will say what I have to say. When you go, you too say what you have to say. But I know that I am not coming here to implicate anybody. And anybody's name that I mentioned here, it should be clear that they have done that and I witnessed it. I have not come here to implicate anybody, but let nobody implicate me also. But let people say exactly what I have done.
waaw ñu ma jot a jëflanteel tamit naka su dul noonu maa ngi jégal ñu balal ma aha.
And those that I have dealt with in an improper manner, I'm appealing for them to help me, to forgive me.
Organize anything loo xam ne dinaa mun a mit ñu jox leen loxo o isi guru balu leen aha loolu dina ma gënal torop.
If the commission can organize a forum whereby I can meet with these people and shake their hands, or even to bring colors and appeal for forgiveness, I'll be very pleased to have that opportunity.
maa ngi wax jërëjëf si yéen ñëpp.
I'm saying thank you to all of you.
di leen baalu aha te di leen baal aha di ñaan Yàlla subhanahu wa ta'ala mu defal ñu jàmm.
For your forgiveness and praying to God to bless us and give us peace.
Seytaane aar ñu laxa ñu fu yaxa yëgut. Assalamu alaikum.
Protect us from the machinations of Satan.
One last question, sorry, that's coming back a bit late. From a religious teacher, you became a torturer.
See, this is how
Sorry?
that is it.
da nga nekkoon oustaz di jàngale daara gannaaw gi nga ñëw mujjee nekk koo xam ne da ngay mbugal nit ñi.
de xam nga mbugal nit ki soo ko wax ni ay tooco yi da nga maa gën a disturb sax. man tooco mooy dama daan dóor rek.
If you keep talking about torture, it disturbs me more.
I was just mentality tooco bu ma am moo nekk tooco mooy téye nit di dugal ay rabu si sa loxo yi di la def yoo xam ne métital yoo xam ne dafa daw yaram. tooco bi dafa ma disturb trop de dama la daan lee waaw nga téye ma téye fii ñu dóor la sa taat yi ba mu néewi waaye pour lan tooco téye dog sa yaram bi subhanallah.
I did not lacerate or cut people's flesh, but I only laid them, but we laid them until their buttocks will be swollen.
You probably would be a bit uncomfortable with this last question. Did you ever extort money from anybody during the years of special operations that you conducted?
ndax mus ngaa jël xaalis ci ñen ñoo xam ne da ngeen leen daan jàpp ci ay anam yoo xam ne yéen leen ebaloon ci ngeen liggéey.
Non
man su ma fekkee fu ñoo jëlee xaalis si naka su dul noonu sax man du ma ko nangu man maay jëlaat xaalis boobu delloo ko because am na beneen incident boo xam ne maa ngi ko doon expérience suma story yi sax boo xam ne xaalis laa jël si loxo nit kun accuse mu delloo ko koo xam ne sax at the end of the day sax xam nga appreciate na ko ba dafa ñëwaat foofu with lot of money just to please me ma ne ko man du ma jël bribe waaw.
I never did that. Even if I were in a situation where such monies were taken, I never take part in taking that money because there have been incidents. There has been an incident which I explained earlier in my story where I had to take money and return it back to someone, and who was so pleased that he came back to the office, tried to offer me more money, which I rejected.
Because after at the end of the day, the hypocrite also gain so my problem.
They were not comfortable with me. That was why they took me and put me with the people who did the beating, because I was not doing it and they were not comfortable with me. So they will be suspicious that perhaps if I did not take part, I would be the one talking about it outside, or that I was a hypocrite. So the situation was such that I eventually got involved. I know today many people watching would be surprised. They will see me as someone who taught them Quranic school. Because
Balama joined the army, Bilmonon Jangale, some Pomodan Jangal Dara Jem Senegal, or Magisni Pabi Mugi Maget after I take over Darabi, some Hariji, some colleagues you buy on Darabi, you watch Darabi, but Darabi so Hollywood. Because Malen Ramon Darabi, Malen Feral Iji. Abajada bi ban ko mokal so xamé ma ben jikko bu melni nit ñi so su ma gis tam ci télé bi nobody du mëna believe ni bas nakate da amon na jikko bu melni.
Before, my dad was the one teaching the Quranic school, but when I realized that he was getting old, I took over, and my colleagues who had left school because of me had to return back to school, and I had to help them, you know, to learn the Quran. So nobody, if not for this testimony, nobody amongst the people who know me can believe that I was capable of such behavior.
Capable of torturing other people. Thank you very much indeed for your testimony, Mr. C.
Jërëjëf Mr. C ci sa seede yi nga xam ne gaalal nga ko fi.
Council, you have another witness ready for the afternoon? Or
no,
earlier thing was this was the one that...
Mr. Chair, this is it for this session. But before you wrap it up, I just want to take this opportunity to issue that warning.
Yes, please.
To the NIA authorities and personnel and colleagues of Basiru to refrain from all action that would amount to threats against him or victimization of him on account of the testimony he is giving before the TRRC. Mr. C is a witness of the commission. He has answered the call of the state to come and speak truthfully to what he knows to have happened at the NIA, and no one should interfere with him, no one should threaten him, no one should victimize him. And the commission would be watching. Even post this commission, the commission would put it in its orders that certain individuals should be always dealt with properly in accordance with law and fairly, because they have done what their nation has asked them to do, which is to come and truthfully testify to the things that they know. These are people that we should all congratulate for their boldness and commitment to the national cause by speaking the truth. They should not be vilified in any way. So we encourage and urge the authorities of the NIA or SIS to take these people, treat them properly, and protect them and shield them from people who may wish to exert revenge against them. Thank you very much. And Mr. C, if there is anything that you think the commission should know, always feel free to report to the commission any activities that are taken against you in order to victimize you or to exert revenge against you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Council, for that warning. And this brings us to the end of proceedings for today, proceedings for the 19th session, the 3-week time that we devote to sessions. And we are going to take a 1-week break from public hearings. We will continue with committee hearings and outreach activities, and resume the 20th session. We would open on the 25th of January. So we will end the proceedings here today and come back on Monday, the 25th of January. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonics Money Transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
njëg bi yomb ba bëgga dee fu ñu nekk nag neex a xam ba bëgga dee si gannaaw gaaraas si base bi foofu sa Farafenni lu néew rek ngay dox am si marché bi jënd loo bëgg delluwaat sa kër ak Yaa Faatu's Guest House mun nga noo jokkoo ñun si 790 1355 35 30 489 email si ombay7843@gmail.com house so leen fa demee dinañ leen jox customer care service bu baax seen xolay sedda ba ni ngeen fay jógee Yaa Faatu's Guest House Yaa Faatu's Guest House lii leen amal yéen ñuy dem Farafenni saay boo leen tëddee nelaw leen ndaxte yaa Faatu's Guest House génne na seen coono bi yëpp fii si biir dëkk bi. yaa Faatu's Guest House, yaa Faatu's Guest House. dama ne jox leen ma seen noppa yéen ñi nga xam ne ni bëgg ngeen a dem Farafenni nag ñu bari den fay bëgg a dem di xalaat ndax am naa mbokk am aw ma mbokk fan laay dem dëkk ak fan laa du dem dëkk seen coono jeex na seen xalaat jeex na te si biir yaa Faatu's Guest House ñu ngi leen fa amal li nga xam ne ni moom mooy c'est ko self container
saala cabinet
ñaari cabinet ak saal
single room
néegi nag nekkul ne la naa jox waaye duñ leen laaj mooy sore naa ñëw indiwaale leen seen yére kase ndaxte yére yi sax foo leen koo def ñu ngi leen ko amal saala cabinet yi bu nekkaa nga am lal bu nooy saal bi ñu ngi ko defar ba mu yaaña toogu yi nekk fa télé bi nekk fa channel bi nekk fa channel bu la neex ngay cuun waaye nag amuñ si loolu rek yéen ñi nga xam ne yéen ay dem ak seen famille ak seen njaboot benn nit wala ñaari nit ñu ngi leen fa amal waañ yu baax waañ yu yaaña bagage yi waañ yëpp ñu ngi fa yow yaay xool loo bëgg a tooga rek nga teg si gaz bi daal di taal tooga lekka sa xol sedda
xam ne foofu ngeen di toog ngeen